just chatting to him. He's just chatting to him on the bench.
I wonder if I'll get away with it. I wonder if I'll get away with it.
No. You might not deep in it. He was going to bring on Salah, yeah?
Look how much space is on the right-hand side, you man. What is this?
Oh, my.
This is a fucking
they're trying to get him sacked.
I'm done, bruv. I've got kids, bruv. It's a Friday. Why am I doing this? I'm done. Bye, man.
By the way, just let you know.
Brother, oh my goodness. No, man. He's looking right across the line. Dimwit, bro. Oh my God.
The remontada we had against Liverpool, outstanding performance from the boys. I think if I'm Arsenal, I'll be worried because this is showing a different Man City. This is exactly Man City we've been witnessing. The start of the season starts now. And I think we're winning the league, man. I feel so happy. I can't believe it. We're coming for...
He's got his 28th goal for City this season.
See? BBC love me, man. They love me. They call me. Mwah! They know I'm making it, man. I'm going to win the league. Mwah! Guys, mwah! See you at the terrace, guys. Hey! Let me do a little dance. I'll see you at La Lahwa. Hey! A little dance, bro. You see this? I used to play like this. We when Santos used to win the league. Hey! They give me a call, man.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another episode of the A-listers, ladies and gentlemen. As you guys can see, Flawless is late. Lewis was late. Jay is on the way, so I don't know when exactly they'll be here. So it's not our fault, at least the top row, that this show has started late. But regardless, big up to all of you guys. There's already 100 people in the building. Close the live chat. Hit the like button right now. Every single one of you, please close the live chat and hit the like button. MHF 15. I'll speak to Edward to try to get you guys one more days, but all the stuff for the next season is there. All the new kits, everything that you guys want for the new season, the training kits are all there, and 15% off instead of 8% off. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram. The link is in the pinned comment. And yeah, so please like, share, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Instagram. Flawless is here as well. Big up to you, Flawless. So there are different topics for today. We're going to be talking about Bradley Barcola, Bruno Guimaraes, almost done. And for once, we actually have a City topic. So let's just start with the City topic. You know, since we've got Tarik, the legend in the house himself. You get me? Massive upgrade on Vader. This is legit one of the biggest upgrades in YouTube history, honestly. Like, just
you keep saying that. It makes me feel bad, man, because I like Vader. Vader's my guy.
Yeah, man, Vader's cool.
Vader, we like Vader.
You know, we all like Vader, but you know, we can't call a garden a space.
Yeah, we like Vader. City fans like Jesus. Haaland is an upgrade. That's the real.
You know, like I said, we need to call a spade and not a garden utensil.
Yeah,
Vader is a spade, and you're a garden utensil. There's levels to how you.
Okay, fair enough. That's fair. I'm good with it. I'm good with it.
Anyway, I want to talk Man City. So I'll start with you, Tarik, and then we'll open the floor up. I want to talk about Bouaddi joining Manchester City, which is now close, obviously been reported by everyone. The fear of Rodri leaving, having lost Bernardo Silva and Pep as well. Tarik, how do you feel about this current transfer window with all your ins and outs so far at Man City?
I mean, really hasn't been much ins and outs. We got Elliot Anderson, which I think is going to be a big move for us, but other than that, isn't really a whole lot of sit around and wait. We were waiting for everything to happen. And I think really the whole transfer window as a whole is kind of stuck in this waiting pattern. I don't know what domino is going to fall first and then kind of open the floodgates for everybody else. But yeah, I'm ready for anything to happen, because just sitting around watching all the comments about, you know, these other teams and these other players, whatever, and you're just like, are we going to do something? Is anybody going to make a move? So yeah, it's time for us to go get these moves across the line. The Bouaddi move, if that's actually going to happen, let's get it across the line. And more importantly, let's figure out what's going to happen with Rodri. I think all City fans to a man will hope that he stays. And most City fans will probably assume that he's going to leave, right? He's probably going to go. He wants to go. There's no doubt about that in my mind. So now it's just a matter of if Real Madrid is going to step up, pay the money that it's going to take. And if not, then we just hold on to him for another year. And I'm okay with that because again, it's not my money. So I don't care about balancing the books. I care about putting the best product on the pitch next season or this coming season. And so I think by far we are better with Rodri than we'll be without him. I think a Rodri, Elliot Anderson, Cherky midfield it's gonna be insane. So I would love to see that, and I hope that we can hold on to Rodri either way. But we'll see.
I think with Man City, it's like a crossroads situation right now for them. Which direction do they head in? If I was in Tarik's place, I'd have the same exact opinion, which is I'd rather play Rodri for a year and then lose him on a free than just not have him at all. I think losing Rodri, Bernardo Silva, and Pep is gonna be incredibly difficult. Like you can't.
No, that's a big culture shock.
Yeah.
Like for me, it's the same
Leadership.
exact thing as like losing Salah, losing Saliba. You know, players like that. You can't replace these players, man. You just can't. Like Rodri's not gonna leave, and then you're gonna bring in some guy, and he's gonna be the next Rodri. It just doesn't work that way because Rodri is like an irreplaceable player, basically. One of the best players in the Premier League probably over the last 5-6 years. So what he's done in the Premier League, I don't think you can just get a player like that.
Nah, there is nobody.
If it is true what the reports from Spain are saying, which is he wants to move to Spain for family reasons and he wants to move there for football reasons as well, then I do lean towards more the fact that he is going to go because, you know, obviously when reporters start talking about family situations and stuff like this, then most likely, you know, it ends up with the player leaving. So I think City are in a crossroads. Do they challenge Arsenal this season or do they fall into the others pack, basically, you know, and they're just shoved in with everyone else, you know, and this purely depends on them because signings like Bouaddi obviously is a great signing,
but he's young. 18. He's a kid. Yeah,
he's only 18. You can't bring in a player like that and go like, okay, here you go, replace Rodri, bro. That's just you're kind of setting him up to fail already.
Which is why it's disappointing, to be honest, that we haven't been in the conversation for Bruno G, because I feel like, again, I don't think anybody can do what Rodri does, right? But
weren't you after him a year or two ago as well?
We were in that conversation, and he wasn't ready to move, or they weren't going to let him move, whichever. And I don't know, again, with Pep being gone, you never know what would happen. If Pep was here, would he be more willing to come? Is he not willing to come because Pep's not here? Maybe he don't like Maresca. I have no idea. But for us to at least not even be in the conversation for him, I feel like is a mistake. It's a disappointment on my part because I feel like he can step in and he's more of a ready-made, I won't say replacement, but he's more of a ready-made backfill for Rodri than anything like a Bouaddi would be, right? So it's disappointing that we're not in that conversation.
And it's crazy. Maybe Rodri stays if Pep had stayed, because I just think that there's a level
maybe
of that Pep commands that give me one more year, and Rodri will consider giving one more year, giving the backstory and how the great things they've done together as a manager and a team captain. So yeah, man, if you guys lose Rodri at the same time, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. I think that a lot of teams are not as stable as Arsenal are. So it makes it harder for you when you then lose key players again. When you then lose like really, really key players. Because again, you have to think about it. This is the first time in the history of the Premier League, no, not first, but like in a long time, that 8 teams are starting with new managers in the season. 8 different teams. This is barring De Zerbi and Carrick, who started halfway through last season. There's 8 different teams that have 8 new managers. And then you add in the Carrick and the De Zerbi. That's 10. That's half the league starting with new managers. That's 10 different changing rooms, 10 different ideas, 10 different ways of playing where the managers are trying to implement their own style now. Yes, but it's a new squad, it's a new club, it's a new way of thinking, it's a new way of trying to figure out how to beat the opponent, but it's all new stuff in the back room. So yeah, it's going to be that already makes it hard for most teams. Now you then have couple that with losing some of your best players. That's so yeah. But let's see what you guys do, and we'll see who you bring in. But
the on the pitch, what they bring on the pitch, but also Rodri, Bernardo, they're one of those two people that are in that. You know, Bernardo was our captain last season, but as far as in that whole captain's group, they would both be in that group. Ruben Diaz hasn't played as much. He was injured a lot of last season, so we'll see when he comes back, if he even gets his starting space back. So there's just a lot of leadership and on pitch stuff that we're going to lose, and off pitch. So if Rodri goes, there's not enough money. I mean, you know, the club might prioritize the money, right? But the 65, 70 that's being bandied around, there's no way that's enough. We should be asking. We should actually be asking for that 90, 100 million, and either you pay it or we just keep the player. Because again, our ability to win
Real
the league.
Madrid's process to more wait out contracts. We've seen them do it before. Trent,
and that's the risk. That's the risk. If you hold on to him, there's a very strong chance he goes for a free. Which again is why I'm saying I'm not an accountant. My brother is, but I ain't. So I don't care about that money. Go ahead and keep that player, and let's make one more run at this Premier League. So, and I think we would, with Rodri, I think we're definitely in that conversation. Now without him, we got to see, because it's a lot of change. But yeah.
Lewis and Flawless. This whole City situation, obviously, you guys Flawless a bit less than Lewis, but you're not anti-City as much as me. I'm probably more anti-City.
I'm glad you own that. I'm glad you own it.
No, you want to know the problem? This is what I have a problem with. People complain that City Pool isn't a rivalry, and they get a Liverpool fan that hates Man City, and they still bitch about it. I just don't. You can never win on the internet.
No, you can't.
Just giving up on winning on the internet. At this point, just fully giving up. I think I want to ask both of you guys a question. Where do you see City headed? Do you think they're headed in the right direction? Do you think they're changing too much? Do you think there's too much things happening right now at Man City that could be a net negative at the end? How do you guys feel about it? I'll let Lewis go first, and then I'll come to you, Flawless. I can hear you both, but I'm just going to get a water bottle and come back.
No worries. Honestly, it won't really sound like a great answer, but it's still a bit too early to tell the direction. Because I think a lot of it really depends on how this Rodri situation goes out. And if we know Real Madrid, they're more likely to keep him, which means there's been a lot of change, but people know me. I think Maresca's a good coach. I think that would have been the best option bar Jabby that they could have gone for. And I also think the thing that City fans won't really say, because of how much they respect Pep, is that there was a lot of questions about Pep over the last 2 seasons as well. Maybe City did need to just freshen up the managerial role. Sometimes these things happen where people just run their course. It's just too early to tell. If they lose Rodri, I really don't know how they replace him. And that will raise a few more questions. But for now, I don't think a lot has changed for the worse for them right now. It's just dependent on this Rodri thing. That's why I agree with what Sam was saying in terms of this is a bit of a crossroads, because I don't know how you replace him.
Yeah,
Pep, I think you got a good coach. I think you got a manager that will do well with you lot. And Bernardo, I think you are going to replace him at this point anyway. But Rodri, if I was you lot, I'd run it down. You ain't won the league in 2 years. I'd be look, you'll leave on a free. Madrid like free transfers anyway. That's completely up their boat. But yeah, that's me.
Yeah, there's a lot of people, if you're on any of the City streams, the question is, oh, well, what if he's got an attitude? What if he doesn't, I just feel like he's a professional. He's been professional all this time that he's been on I don't expect anything other than him to be a professional, just like we saw Bernardo Silva be all those years that he was talking about potentially moving on. So for me,
every summer.
Yeah, for me, I absolutely keep that player. But you brought up Maresca. I agree. It's watching the preseason match. It was very similar. It felt very Pep-like, right? So it wasn't a whole lot of change, a whole lot of difference in the way that we played on the pitch. It looked very similar. So from that standpoint, it's it feels like a lot of the same. But if you start taking,
I just think be more willing to adapt
key
to
players
your
out.
sorts of weaknesses. Because I remember those criticisms about you losing Rodri and still trying to play the same way, and it was impacting your results every week.
Yeah,
I think Maresca was just going to drop back. He did that with us.
That'll be the thing that will be new that'll be new for us, right? Because Pep was always going to be front foot, or at least attempt to be for the most part. There's maybe one, there's moments where we were on the back foot, but Arsenal comes to mind. But for the most part, we were always going to be trying to go take the game to the opponent, go win the game, as opposed to sitting back. And like you said, it feels like Maresca might be more open to doing some of that, and that's going to be a change for us to adjust to a team that does that or is willing to do that. But it also might mean we're more capable in one-off matches or knockout competition type style matches. So we'll see.
Yeah, I think what you say in regards to Hassam's original question, and Hassam, I was letting the man talk. That's why I wasn't over talking. You know what I'm saying? I was letting Lewis and Tariq have their say.
We're revealing private messages now.
Yes, 100%. If you send me stupidness, then yes, I'm going to reveal it to the public. Yes. Guy was out with the old talk fraud. Like, so Lewis is talking, Tariq's talking. If I start talking over them, no one's going to be able to hear what they're saying.
Oh yeah, guys, Flawless has never spoken over someone.
Yeah, if they would have said some foolishness, then yes, I would have.
I'm a subscriber to your channel. I've seen you gegen press so many people.
Yeah, again, key there is if you talk nonsense. You know what I'm saying? If you say some stupidness, I'm going to interject. Same way, if I say something you lot disagree with, you're going to interrupt me. Am I lying?
I haven't interrupted you in a while, to be fair. You haven't said anything.
Yeah, because you see where I'm coming from. But
our last disagreement was Barcola.
Let me jump on here. Exactly. Let me jump on here and say I think United can win the league. Man, I'm going to interrupt. Exactly. Right then. Exactly. My point. Yes, my point. That's exactly. But in regards to it, with the change at City, it can't be helped. Of course, you're always going to have a drop off from Pep. There's no other Pep they was going to get. Do I agree with Lewis to an extent about Maresca being a good manager? Yes, I do. But there's always going to be a drop off from Pep. And I think that's why it's even more important that they do keep Rodri. Tariq already said it. All City fans are on the same page. Keep him for 12 months and lose him for a free. It's not ideal, but it's the better scenario because you're already having to replace Pep. Bernardo Silva's gone, even though he's slightly older. If Rodri leaves, then it's a question of you don't replace him player for player, but the void that he'll be heavily missed, and then it's on not just one player, but the whole team to kind of like make up for the loss of someone who's as influential as Rodri. But yeah, so again, Lewis said at the start, it's kind of too early to tell because it's what did they do in the window? They go and sign two or three quality players. That changes it if they lose Rodri and then they don't sign anyone, or they just sign Bouaddi, for example. So it's a lot of unknown because we don't know how Maresca does with this. Like Dio mentioned it, the amount of new managers, we're going into unknown territory. Is Maresca more similar to Pep than we expect? Does he switch it up? Is it a little bit of a change? Like we have nothing to go off. Big up SB and the catch up every single time as well. So yeah, like that's what I'd say on it. So it's just how it plays out. That is.
Can I play devil's advocate here real quick?
Go on.
I'm just gonna something here. So but the City had Pep and Rodri for the last 2 seasons. Yeah, barring injury and all that, they still, struggled to challenge properly, even with reinforcements. So my question is losing Rodri really a big deal like that? If you already had Rodri and Pep here and you weren't able to do it, why don't you just let Maresca cook with a whole new midfield, a whole new setup? And since you're starting afresh, why isn't that a thing that City fans are looking at saying, well, hey, after all, we had you.
Because the City fans are so respectful towards Pep, they're not going to talk about the fact that they were also critical about him in those 2 years.
There's a lot of City fans that are critical or have been critical. Some big names on social media and YouTube or whatever, like Pep out, which is for me was crazy because I agree.
I get it.
I agree that I'm very much pro Pep, right? So I probably would be hesitant to say too many negative things about Pep because I do respect him. But no, I think that, yeah. So to your point, Dio, I just think that you said that, well, we really didn't compete. And I agree that we weren't really as competitive as I would have liked to be these last 2 seasons. But I think that part of that is because we lost Rodri in those 2 seasons. He was out for the better part of both of those seasons. We saw him playing himself into form on the back end of last season, taking that and then going into the World Cup. So I like to think that he's back at the peak of his powers, if you want to say it that way. So I want to see that Rodri get back into this midfield, get back into our team, as opposed to the Rodri that we saw the last 2 seasons, which was quite honestly a shell of who he is. Because when he came back, I said he's not playing at the level we need. I would have rather, especially early when he first got back, I would have rather kept playing Nico G, because I thought in that moment he was giving us more than what Rodri was. But I know without a shadow of a doubt that Rodri's capacity is higher, it's greater, it's bigger than what Nico G could ever give me if they were both at the top of their game. But he just wasn't. I think he is now. I want to put that Rodri back in this midfield. I don't want the Rodri from last season. I want that Rodri.
Fair enough. I mean, again, I was just thinking to myself, like, I would, if I were a City fan, I'd be like, hey, look, the main guys are all gone. If he wants to leave, let's just start a new project. Let's just start a new one.
I don't think I'm ever gonna concede and just say, well, we just throw in the towel. And it doesn't have to necessarily be thrown in the towel, but it would feel like we're throwing in the towel if we're just going to completely disrupt everything, start all over from scratch. I don't think we have to do that. I think that, especially if Rodri stays, I think we're right there to compete, and he's healthy. We're right there to compete at the top of the table and to push you or be pushed by you is what I really think the whole way. So I wouldn't want to just blow it up. But again, if you're going to lose Rodri, then, quite honestly, we have gone through a lot of transition over the last couple of years. It's almost been like blowing it up every single season. I'm tired of blowing it up. I want some consistency.
Yeah, and in regards to that as well, like they haven't won the league with Pep and Rodri, but they're a better club and a better team with those two at the helm. Yeah, you put Pep and Rodri back in there, they are. It doesn't guarantee like victory, but it increases the chances. That doesn't mean Maresca can't win the league and they can't be successful, because Maresca, I think, is a good coach.
I'm just saying new ideas. Yeah. I'm like, the thing is the thing about new ideas in the locker room is, for me, I'm thinking from the perspective of like players, right? So this manager wants us to press a certain way, wants us to, he wants us to set up a certain way. Like we need to get all of these ideas together and be able to merge as a team and play the way he wants us to play. And when you have new ideas in the locker room, you might as well have new players so that you can just start everything and get your pieces together instead of.
To be honest, I think. Look, I've lived both lives. I've seen when someone's changed everything, and I've seen when someone's like stuck to the plan and edited it a little bit. This is where Maresca's role is important. Klopp came in after Rodgers and said, F all this dumb shit you guys have been doing. I'm going to change everything. Klopp fully changed everything Rodgers did and didn't build a single thing on it, even though Rodgers had a couple of good things. And then I've seen Slot come in, and in his first season, didn't do his own stuff. He edited Klopp's style a little bit. He made his little adjustments. But to be fair, we had a player go on an all-timer like run in terms of like GA and contribution. And City have that. The reason why I can't rule out City is they have the robot. Erling Braut Haaland. You cannot, I'm sorry, I cannot look at Haaland and go like, yeah, there is no way they'll win the league. Because in a blink of an eye, in the first 15 games, Haaland could be on 20 goals. What are we doing here? Are we going to lie to each other? Are we going to sit here and pretend that Haaland isn't capable of this? Right. He's fully capable of it. Right. He's fully capable of hat-trick against Coventry, 2 goals against Liverpool, 2 goals against Man United, 1 against Chelsea, blah, 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 blah. He's capable of doing this. Let's not sit here and like pretend he's not capable, Erling Haaland. Like he's that guy. If you feed the beast, he will score. That's why we go back to it. That's why I don't think, Semenyo and him work well together, because Semenyo is more of a scorer, And I think maybe that's position where I'm interested to see how City operate about it in the wing position. But I will say this, all 4 of you haven't given a straightforward answer, and neither have I, because City, you cannot give a straightforward answer right now. You can't say black and white. They're in the gray area. I don't know. This could go well, this could go bad. They could like just challenge and fall off. They could become a top 4 team. It's literally like a wait and see thing, with City, and it depends on who else they sign in this transfer window as well. Anyway,
we might fall down to be just competing for top 4, right? But I if we go any further down than that, then that's like an all-time. Because I still think we have players that are good enough to compete at the top of the table. So again, we will drop off. It's not Pep, right? There's going to be some amount of drop off. The key is for the club to make sure that that drop off isn't as steep, isn't as severe, isn't as deep or as long as what we saw from, say, an Arsenal after Wenger or United after Sir Alex or whatever, right? So we don't want to have to go through that level of drop off. And so I think there's still enough players there that we shouldn't have to go through that. But again, you got to put it together on the pitch. So
I think City's floor is top 4. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, and to your point, about
probably even third.
Yeah, I think to your point about what you saw with Rodgers and Klopp and all that, right? The reason that they're bringing in Maresca is he has been there. He has been a part of what we do. There is going to be a lot of stability and consistency. I don't think he's going to just completely blow it up. But to Dio's point, yeah, if you're bringing in a manager that is completely different style, completely different flow, then yeah, you got to give him that ability to mix it up and to implement his style. But I think we brought in Maresca because it's very Pep-like. And so yes, there will be some small changes. I've seen you talk about Semenyo. I've seen him talking about how he's going to be high and wide, most of the game. So he's excited about that, being able to run at people in space, one-on-one. So, but again, we saw that with Pep, maybe not in the same doses. So I think it'll be close. It'll be very similar. Hopefully the players are rejuvenated, but again, I think, and everybody agrees, we are better with Rodri than without him. So,
yeah. Fair enough. To be honest, everything Tarik said, I agree with. In the scenario, they keep Rodri. If they leave Rodri, if they sell Rodri, I think everything he says it just changes everything because you don't have.
Yeah, that's why I couldn't judge them right now. I gotta wait for the window to end.
If we brought in Bouaddi,
if Rodri leaves, there's a legitimate possibility that they are basically back with the others. But we will leave that for another day. I want to move on, talk about Arsenal, obviously the club that everyone here is trying to catch up to. Dio. Guys, first of all, like the video because we have 400 people in here and we're not even at 100 likes yet. This is even worse than Liverpool's squad depth. Even worse.
Likes, you lot.
Yeah, we can't be on under 100 likes with 400 people watching. So close the live chat, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're ready to do so. All the links are in the description. If you're wondering why Tarik is here, it's because we upgraded on Vater. You get me? So you can find him on Tarik Peterson. The link is in the description, and Shades of Blue Network. So go over there, subscribe. And all the A-listers, all their links are in the description, guys. So go give them a subscribe. Ace, I'll come to the Liverpool topic in a bit. I just want to talk about Arsenal first. Bruno Guimaraes, first bid rejected, obviously. Arsenal gonna bid again. It's a negotiating process. Vini Jr., no one knows right now. Some are saying it's a possibility. Some saying it won't happen. Some saying he wants to stay. Some saying blah, blah, blah. First of all, start with Bruno Guimaraes, Dio, and then work your way to Vini and tell us your opinion, brother.
My thoughts on Bruno's still stands. It's going to be a difficult deal to get done. Newcastle are depleted, and this is their captain, so they're not going to let him go for next to nothing. You know what I'm saying? They're going to fight tooth and nail to have him stay or get the most value for their money. Forget age, forget anything. But I think that he's a player that raises the ceiling for Arsenal in our midfield. I think he's a player that we need. So yeah, I just expect my club now to just go on and get it done. And I was in the stream earlier, and the guy was trying to press me. Why can't we just get it done immediately? Just go in and pay the money. And I said, look, again, when you're at the top of the table and you are trying to fix just little things, you have to make sure that you're getting the right person. You're not fixing 6 players, 7. You don't need 5. You need 3 players to come in. They have to be the 3 right players because you just don't want to break the sequence that you have going on.
Can I ask you, do you think he's the right player for you lot?
I think he's the right player for us, and I'll tell you why I think so. I think so because last season, Declan Rice and Zubimendi played over 5,000 minutes. Ridiculous. Mikel Merino was injured, so we couldn't even bring him in up until the end of the season when he covered and went to the World Cup. What's his name was on loan before we tried to recall him back towards the end. Miles Lewis-Kelly was an untested 6 for the longest time until we started throwing him in. So it would have been a risk to try to depend on him throughout the entire season. So again, for me at that stage, you need players of that caliber. so that your players are not playing 5,000, 6,000, close to 6,000 minutes a season. I think it's way too much on any player. But when you have a Bruno G and you have a Declan, and then you also have you'll be able to rotate. You can play them together sometimes. Somebody else can play for somebody else to rest. You can actually get the best out of them in big games. So you can have Bruno play in the Champions League, maybe Miles, and then in the Premier League, bring in Declan and Zubi. You can actually do stuff around your players. Now, I think we saw Zubimendi beginning of last season playing very well for Arsenal, scored the most goals he's ever scored in his career since he moved to Arsenal. His first season, people won't even remember that this guy just joined us in the summer. And towards the end of the season, he looked fatigued. Turns out he's played the most games. He's broken the record for playing the most games in one season for Arsenal. He played 57 games out of 67 available to us. And we played 63 as a club. The last record was 55 games for one season. So Zubi playing that amount of games it should be a no-no. It should be a no-no in any club. I think we overused our players. That's why we had 32 injuries, second to Tottenham last season. So yes, I think Bruno raises the ceiling for us. I think Bruno is a guy that can come in and get the job done. You don't lose anything if Declan needs to rest and Bruno is playing. You don't lose much. You don't lose much playing Zubi and Bruno together. If you don't lose much if you're playing Miles and Bruno. He's got the experience, he's got the age, he's got the know-how, and I think that he's a player that will do well. Will do well for us. Yeah, I think we should get him.
Chat time by Dial's talking.
Fonzie, if I say it, he will start. He'll put it on me. And then he'll say I'm doing the humble thing. So I know. Listen, we got Flawless himself on the stream, bro. You get me? Sarcasm TV.
Let Jay talk. Big up Jay.
I just want to be clear. If I say something, whether or not Hussam's going to clip it up and call me salty,
there's no way you're still on about that. You're still on about that.
No, Dio, how you feeling? You feeling excited about Vini? You feel still feeling excited? Yeah, absolutely.
I'm still excited. I'm excited about where we're shopping. I'm excited that we're shopping.
Absolutely.
I'm excited that we're shopping.
I often get excited going in Harrods, and then when I leave with nothing, I might feel a different kind of way. But don't worry about that.
We're talking about Bruno Guimaraes. Let me finish my talks on Bruno. You can't.
That's fine. Okay, so
pause. Jay, pause. Jay, pause. Mute. Wait. We're talking about Bruno Guimaraes.
Why is it that you've just been speaking? Now I've started speaking, and now you're still speaking.
You just came in.
How does that work?
Flawless.
You finished. I came in at the end when you finished speaking.
You basically started talking.
But somehow, just my.
You know what, Jacob?
You know what?
Yeah.
Just me saying a word means you listen. At the end of the day, what you can break this down to is not Zubimendi's been a failure, but I mean, if I had a 20-year-old who had just started Champions League's final, and I had Zubimendi as well, why am I buying Bruno Guimaraes? I've got a 20-year-old who's lights out, just started playing in central midfield position. You've got Calafiori and Hincapié at left back. Do you need Bruno Guimaraes? I think buying Bruno Guimaraes is an indication that am I that satisfied with Zubimendi? You can be as flowery as you want with the language, but at the end of the day, Zubimendi wasn't starting the games at the end of the season, and now you're buying another midfielder. So isn't that an indication that you're kind of over Zubimendi a little bit? Remembering Marino missed a number of games at the end of the season too. So I'm just looking at this realistically, and however you want to describe it about Zubimendi.
We don't like Zubimendi. We need to get rid of him. We're going to sell him since that's what you want to hear. Zubimendi will be sold, and then we'll be happy.
That's not what I want to hear. My thing
guys, why are you both on so much petty energy? Can we park the pettiness and just talk regularly?
This is fine.
I was talking about Bruno Guimaraes.
I'm going to put you next to each other as well.
Don't put me down there. Good. The question that Flawless asked me was, how do I think Bruno Guimaraes impacts my team? And I'm talking about that. You come in and you say, oh, Zubimendi. I don't care about that. Look, if you're big, you're big. Get Bruno Guimaraes, get Declan Rice, put Zubimendi on the bench, and have Miles Lewis Kelly. I don't care. That's what big clubs do. When clubs like Real Madrid have Tchouaméni and all these guys at hold on. When big clubs,
what do you mean hold on? Shut up, man. What do you mean hold on? How are you going to tell me to hold on when you cut me off when I'm talking? You've cut me off when I'm talking, and you're telling me to hold on. Nah. You go on mute.
Your sound, we just got you another
and then you can report. You can report when I finish my point.
I was responding
because it's not open mic night. I don't know why you feel it's open mic night. I feel like you think it's open mic night, but it's not.
Jay
it's a closed ceremony.
Let me finish my point. You know you're giving me my 6 points. You know you're giving me my 6 points.
Okay, guys, we're gonna let Jay finish his point, and then Dio respond. Jay, finish your point, please.
Then okay. Listen, my point is merely listen. You can buy whatever you want to buy, do whatever you want to do. I'm not critiquing the signing of Bruno Guimaraes, not in the slightest. At no point have I said it's a bad signing. At no point have I said you shouldn't sign him. At no point have I said he won't elevate the Arsenal midfield. What I did say is, what does this mean about Zubimendi when Zubimendi wasn't even being selected for the final few games of the season? For the crunch of the season, he wasn't selected. You can talk about tiredness all you want. You're now bringing a strong, to you, elite, to many people, elite midfielder. So let's see what that affects Zubimendi. Like, you want to talk like everything just exists in isolation. No. Last season, you bought a £65 million midfielder. This season, you're buying an £80 million midfielder. In the meantime, Lewis Skelly got his wings and he started playing there. You've also got Marino, Declan Rice. I think it's fair to ask, what does Bruno Guimaraes signing for Arsenal mean for Zubimendi? It's just a question. No need to get defensive. Over to you, Dio.
It means we're a big club, and that's what big clubs do. If Zubimendi is going to come off the bench for Bruno Guimaraes, that's what big clubs do. Simple. So to ask me what it does for Zubimendi, like I'm supposed to feel pity for, if there's a better player out there and I can afford that player and I can buy that player and bring him to my club to elevate my club, I'll do it. That's what big clubs do. So if I need to have a Camavinga on the bench and a better player on the pitch for Camavinga to be my substitute player, if I can do that and it's possible, I will do it. That's what big clubs do. You see, when you're at the top, you have to look at the very fine margins and ask yourself, all right, even if I still have a Zubimendi and the Miles Lewis Skelly who's firing on all cylinders, if I bring in a better player and I can rotate my midfield for different games because of what each midfielder brings, why not? Why are rivals so rattled by the fact that Arsenal is trying to edge by adding more quality? Like, I don't get it.
Nah, he's more honed in on saying Zubimendi's a failure. That's what Jay's getting at. He's saying Zubimendi's failure.
Again, that's the narrative that they
want.
From you, Jay. That's the narrative that they want to create. But
that's what Jay's saying. That's what he's getting at. Because he mentioned the prices. Go on.
Zubimendi came in last season. We bought him what 50-something million, 50. I think we paid a little over his release clause so we can amortize the payment. I think maybe about 60 at the most for everything we paid for Zubimendi, right? Brought in Zubimendi last season, and Zubimendi went on to play the most games in Arsenal's history. In the history of the club.
I'm surprised he played more than Rice, actually. That's the shock. That's surprising, that stuff.
The person who had that record was 1989. The last time that happened, I think 78, if I'm not mistaken, 1978 for Arsenal. Zubimendi comes in and plays 57 games in the entire season out of 67 available to Arsenal. And Arsenal played 64 games available out of the 67. The only games we didn't play were the FA Cup semi-final and the final. The two-legged. We played every other thing. These guys were run into the ground. In his first season, getting used to the Premier League, coming from the Spanish League, coming in to play like the kind of football that the Premier League requires you to play, and you played that amount and scored the most goals you've ever scored in your career. Yes, you did well, but we need to back you up. We don't want the same thing happening next season and this season, where you have to play so many games and then you lose team at the end of the season.
Why did the comment section think? Why did the comment section think I'm worried about Zubimendi? I said last season Zubimendi was at the crime scene multiple times, and that's before Arteta dropped him. I said on this stream, Zubimendi is always at the crime scene when something bad happens. And when Arsenal conceded a daft goal or whatever, Zubimendi was at the crime scene. You think Arteta didn't notice that as to why Lewis Skelly started at the end of the season? Now you're replacing the player. Listen, if what you were saying was fair, then Mendy, hold on, Norgard played no minutes. So what are we talking about? Like, Guimaraes is not replacing Norgard. Arteta had an opportunity coming into this season to say, Lewis Skelly, you showed us value in midfield. You can get midfield minutes. It's going to relax Zubimendi. Cool. You can talk about depth and squad depth and all this time. But to me, this signing is indicative of, you know what? I'm not sure about this product. Whoa.
Yeah. Run your narrative. I know what goes on.
Narrative.
No. I know what goes on within my club, and I know. Listen,
if you were buying an £80 million midfielder, maybe it's a narrative.
So what
you are buying an £80 million midfielder.
I know what goes on.
So is that narrative?
I know what my manager says in his interviews that I watch.
What number midfielder is Zubimendi next season?
I don't care.
Well, I'm asking you a question. I'm asking you a direct question. What number midfielder is Zubimendi for Arsenal next season?
I don't know, and I don't care.
What are you thinking? Give me an answer.
I don't know. I don't know what the manager wants.
Zion, you have an opinion on everything. You can't give me an opinion on this.
Why should I give you an opinion when you're just trying to make your agenda run? I'm not going to.
I'm asking you a direct question. Do we not talk? Are we not friends?
Yeah, we are. But
I'm
not responding to agendas. I refuse. I choose not to.
It's not an agenda. It's a question.
You know the answer to the question, Jay, man. He's back up, man.
Yeah, he's back up.
He's back up. You know he's 3 or 4, Jay. Stop it.
He's back up.
You know what it is.
I just want to hear Dio say it.
He's back up to Miles Lewis Skelly. He's back up for Miles Lewis Skelly. We're bringing Bruno Guimaraes.
Back up to Miles Lewis Skelly, you know.
Yes.
So he's 4.
And now you're bringing Bruno Guimaraes.
Yeah,
so he's going to be back up.
Nah, Dio's he's just playing.
Okay, so
he don't mean that for real. He don't mean that for real.
Let me just say one thing. Are we doing?
I told you
1 year.
Dio, let me say one thing. Are we doing revisionist history with Zubimendi here?
What's up, real quick?
Because Zubimendi was bad at the end of the season, but at the start of the season, people were saying signing of the year.
They said he was better than Rodri.
People were saying signing of the season at the first 4 months of the year, probably.
Fuck it out.
Yeah, check it out. This is why
Lewis. People were saying that. Why are we denying it?
No, I mean that's the Rodri take that threw me back. It's been a couple months.
Sorry, Hussam. This is why I don't I don't respond to these type of questions sometimes, because again, Zubimendi was good at the beginning of the season. Like I said, our medical team and the Arsenal reports that came out after the season had ended, because you don't go and check that on the Arsenal website. I do. That's my club. We literally wrote down and said, we ran these guys into the ground. Declan Rice, Zubimendi were run into the ground with many minutes. Zubimendi has never played that amount of minutes in his entire career at 26. Never. This was the first time he's played that amount of minutes.
And he'll never play that many minutes again.
That amount of games. And we saw what happened in the second half of the season where he dropped off. And so, of course, the club looked at it and said, we need players to rotate more. Yes, Miles Lewis Skelly was brought in at the end of the season. But at the beginning of the season, when Zubimendi was playing very well, you weren't going to trust Miles to carry the team, because Miles was always playing left back the season before. So again, you just don't bring a kid left back season before, drop him in the midfield the next season when you're trying to win the Premier League. Now that you've won the Premier League and you want to retain it, you then want to go get more quality players and have a deeper squad. We had the second most injuries last season and still went on to win the Premier League. Your team, Jay, had the most injuries and we're battling relegation. That's what squad depth is about.
And we bought 2 midfielders better than Zubimendi. Now what?
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, let me see you come from 17 this season. Yeah, come.
Hey, but hold on. But why are you doing team analysis on individuals?
No, I'm not doing team analysis. I'm simply saying that
you are doing team analysis on individuals. Like at the end of the day, Tonali's better than Zubimendi. He is better than Zubimendi.
I never compared them. I'm talking about injuries.
You mentioned my team, so now I'm referencing.
I mentioned injuries. Jay, I mentioned injuries. You have the most injuries. I had the second most injuries, and yet
listen. When you signed Zubimendi, he was a Spanish international. A year later, after playing for your team, he is no longer a regular starter for Spain. What happened there?
He played in the final of the World Cup that Spain won, and he helped his team in the final of the World Cup play. He got on the pitch. The Zubimendi that you want to, you see, this is
he was a starter. Before he joined you, he was a starter.
I don't know why it's a bad thing, though. Why is it a bad thing that you're improving on Zubimendi?
It's not a bad thing.
Yeah, what I'm saying.
Zubimendi
was never a
starter.
Zubimendi
thought he was.
Zubimendi played. Zubimendi came in for Rodri, even in the Euros.
You're a bad guy, Jay.
Jay, let me. First of all, Jay, you can do whatever you want. First of all, First
I don't know
of all,
why.
Jay,
I
you can
don't know
say-
why. He's because-
Die, 1 second. Let me talk, please. Jay, you can say whatever you want. I just messaged my editor. He's not going to clip you up this week. So we made
Okay,
it clear
thank
to
you.
him.
I pretty
No
okay.
clip up, yeah. So obviously you feel really uncomfortable. You know, I can tell by all the crazy stuff you're saying how uncomfortable you.
I'm not feeling uncomfortable in the slightest.
I know that's the point. I'm being sarcastic, buddy. Now
I
let me
feel
just say what I want to say. Let me just say what I want to say. I think we are doing a bit of revisionism on Zubimendi because he was good for like 6 months, 7 months. I think he fell off towards the end when Lewis Kelly was played in his position. And I think with this whole situation, Bruno Guimaraes coming in, who's a Newcastle captain, to replace Zubimendi is something that we all wish our club had done. You know, we want our clubs to upgrade on the starters that we have anyway. That's the whole point. You know, in order to improve your team, the new guy that is better becomes the starter, and then the older guy becomes the bench player. That's how you improve the team. That's how you improve the squad to begin with. That's the thing. And you look at like this conversation regarding like the midfield and stuff. First of all, I do agree with Jay. Just because Arsenal won the league doesn't mean that every transfer is successful. That's dumb logic. I don't think. But to be fair to Dio, he was alluding to the injuries more than anything else. And for me, I just look at this Zubimendi situation right now, and the reason why I think it's unfair to judge him with the Spanish national team, and hopefully this is not a crazy take because of the three players I'm about to name. His competition is Rodri, Pedri, and Fabian Ruiz. 3 midfielders that I'm pretty sure all 6 of us are probably taking in their team right now. So his competition to start for the national team, respectfully, is not some bums. One is one of the best midfielders in the world, Rodri, if not the best. One of the best midfielders in the world, if not the best, Pedri. You could argue one of them is 1 in the world and the other is 2. Maybe you put Vitinha third or sandwich between one and the other. And the third one is Fabian Ruiz, who's literally been unbelievable at PSG. So if Zubimendi is 4th choice to them, that doesn't mean he's he's not a bad player, bro. Like all 3 of them are incredible midfielders, you know, but it's like saying Fabregas is not good because he didn't start ahead of Xavi, Iniesta, and Busquets. David Silva didn't start ahead of them either. That doesn't mean he's a bad player, you know. So for me, I just think there is a revisionist system to Zubimendi, and this is a player that rejected my club anyway. So it's not like, one second, it's not like I've got to say positive stuff about him anyway. Yeah. My logic is the following. This is what I think Arsenal are trying to do. If I need to rest Rice at home to Coventry, I can do Bruno Guimaraes and Zubimendi and win the game. If I go away to Anfield, I can play Bruno Guimaraes and Rice together. There are plenty of combinations that you have. And one thing that they learned from last season, which Liverpool learned the hard way in the quadruple charge season, is you need squads in order to be able to win multiple competitions. Because we had Thiago and Fabinho have steroid injections in their knees to play a Champions League final. They couldn't play because of the amount of games that they played that season. I think some of the Arsenal players fell off a little bit towards the end of the season due to fatigue because they weren't rotated enough. Was Norgard trusted? No. Norgard wasn't trusted. Should Arteta have trusted him a bit more? Probably, because he's a serviceable Premier League midfielder. But given the fact that they were in the run-in, I'd be basically a hypocrite to ask, for Arteta to play someone like that to win the league. So for me, I think it's an upgrade. And Flawless said it best. There is no problem with upgrading on your starters. That's the point. Dio is an Arsenal fan. He loves Bukayo Saka. If I tell him right now, take Saka out, put Yamal in, that's an upgrade. There's nothing wrong with upgrading because it makes your team better. It makes your squad better. It makes your starting 11 better. And that's the point for me. So, yeah.
When there's nothing to pin on Arsenal, we'll pick on Zubimendi. Don't worry. I totally understand. I mean, what are we pointing at here? Like, we're talking about upgrading your midfield. You say Zubimendi is the problem now. Who cares? Who cares who gets caught when I get a better player? I've said this many times.
Arsenal's problem would start at all your clubs, by the way, just so you know. And mine.
Which player? Who?
Like, more specific.
Guys, can we stop?
Do you say he's Zubimendi?
Zubimendi rejected my club, and I went viral for telling him he's an enemy forever. Let's not pretend he doesn't.
Zubimendi is not.
I ain't taking him over.
I don't think so. Not for City.
I'm good.
Yeah, but
I'm
here's the
good.
thing, Flawless. I didn't say if you'd take him. I said if he'd start, objectively.
No, I don't think he starts. No.
Nope.
No.
Okay, first of all, he definitely starts at Spurs because he's better than Mateus Fernandes.
Hold on.
Mendy's better than Mateus Fernandes. I don't think he is.
Last season, I was asked, would I take Mateus Fernandes for 40 million, and I said no.
Hey,
You think I rate that
at the beginning of the season, Lewis Kelly wasn't starting above Zubimendi.
Let me ask you a question.
About the old days,
because Rodri's
the
gone.
old
He's actually the
days.
perfect replacement.
I have a question.
And he starts at Man United ahead of who they got now. He's better than Andre Santos and better than Tielemans.
Who's better than Tielemans?
Hold on.
They ain't starting over here.
So he's
No, he's not better.
Zubimendi is a similar profile.
Zubimendi is not better than Tielemans.
Rodri is still on my team for now. He ain't going nowhere yet. He's
I'm
not
defending
starting.
your player. Let me just speak.
Hold on. Wait.
Zubimendi
he
is
ain't
a
starting
younger
at the World
version, more
Champions,
athletic Tielemans anyway.
Sam, please.
He's a younger Tielemans.
He's not
What
better
do
than
they both
Tielemans.
do? Dictate tempo.
Yeah, he is, but he's not a better player than Tielemans.
Let me
He's
just-
not a better player
You're
than
being
Tielemans. No.
He's
He's not better than Tielemans or Maino.
You're being emotional.
Let me ask this question. I want everybody to answer all around. I want everybody to give me one answer. Does Zubimendi start for your team?
See how he said the big six, but he never said Chelsea.
No.
No.
I said I want everybody to answer. I said I want everybody to
For
answer.
me, yes. I'll be honest,
No.
yes.
Does
He
Zubimendi
starts at Liverpool. That's it. That's the only big six side. Just Liverpool.
Liverpool.
guys, let's do one after the other.
Do you think, Sam, do you think he starts at Chelsea?
Hussam,
Ahead of Gramberg all day, he starts.
okay, good.
No,
Does-
Chelsea. Chelsea.
Well, Lewis, I'm coming.
He's
to
gonna ask you, bro. That's his point. I answered already. Yes, he
No, you
starts
said
at
big
Liverpool
six.
at the
I'm
Gramberg.
asking you clearly, is it Chelsea?
Lewis, I'm coming to you. Hold on.
Go
Does
for
Zubimendi start for your team, Jay? Does he start for your team?
Nope.
No. Good. Lewis, does Zubimendi start for your team?
No.
Good. Flawless, does Zubimendi start for your team?
No.
And obviously, he doesn't start for City because Rodri is there. But then you're complaining that I'm upgrading him to Bruno Guimaraes, and you're coming here with all this energy when you will not start for any of your teams.
I can't lie to you, 1-0 Dio. 1-0 Dio. He just destroyed you with a one-liner. I can't lie to you. We all asked 1-0 Dio.
He's spun it, even as a hater, he spun it.
1-0 Dio right there. 1-0 Dio.
Sorry, can I just say, Hussam?
When he said good, when you said no, I was like, oh, what is he doing?
Dio does this a lot. Dio creates an argument that no one's arguing.
Don't come here.
At no point did anyone say you shouldn't upgrade Zubimendi. But to say you need to upgrade Zubimendi is to concede the fact that he hasn't lived up to expectations. That's the point. Nobody here said you shouldn't upgrade him. But what one wants to say is the narrative that you're running about he's fatigued, this and that, yada yada. People here are like, now we just don't think he's that good.
Hold on.
So,
Here's what it is. He was good first half of the
so that's the
season.
point, Dio. I'm saying to you, I don't think he's that good because of the physicality of the
Look
league.
at this. He was good
Arteta
first half of
noticed
the
it, and Arteta said to himself, hey, if I keep playing this player, we're going to lose the league. If I play this player in the Champions League final, we're going to lose this match.
Arteta is doing the right thing. So I don't understand what your grouse is about Bruno Guimaraes coming in. Arteta looked at him. He came in.
Because you're creating a narrative that I've not said. Dio did this last week with the Vini.
He just wants to hear you say it, man.
Say you shouldn't get Bruno
What did I
Guimaraes.
say?
I just said, what does this mean for Zubimendi and the success
Yeah,
and transfer? That's it.
no, Dio, what it is, Jay just wants you to say that Zubimendi wasn't good enough and he's now currently back up. That's what he wants you to say.
Exactly. I just want you to know that you are upgrading Zubimendi because he wasn't good enough.
That's what I
The juice
said.
wasn't worth the squeeze.
That's what I said. I said he played so many games that he couldn't keep up in the Premier League. And we've
No,
done
that's a
something
different
Premier League
point.
problem.
That's a different point.
Because
That
what
is
is
a
Premier League
different
problem?
point.
You just want me to shit on my players.
No,
with the
no,
right-
you're
word.
saying he's
You
fatigued.
won't start for your club, but you're telling me why are you trying to upgrade the player?
Hey, I didn't say why you're trying to upgrade. I never said that. This is the thing you do, Dio. You might beat me on an argument that I'm not saying, but you'll never beat me on the argument and the point that I'm actually trying to make. Now you're making a narrative that I never said. I never said this narrative. You can win this argument because I never argued it. Cool.
And then when you asked me earlier, I said he's back up to Miles Lewis Kelly. I called him a failure. He's back up to Miles Lewis Kelly.
Okay, Dio, let's just get to the bottom.
He's a
of it.
World Cup
Do
winner.
you believe that you're upgrading on Zubimendi when you sign Bruno Guimaraes? Yes or no?
Yes. Simple.
Okay, do you believe that the reason why you're upgrading is because Zubimendi hasn't been good enough to start for Arsenal?
Fair enough. Yes. That's it.
Okay,
Yeah.
done.
Let's move on. Next topic.
That's all he wanted you to
There
say,
we
man.
go.
That was it, yo. That's all.
Don't worry, Jay. I'm not gonna clip up this segment.
Hold on.
I'm not. I promise you, Jay.
When I turned around,
I messaged Sean. There
I
will be
might,
no
though.
clips.
Hold on.
Even though it would be an
I'm thinking
iconic
the same
clip,
shit,
I'm not
Tarik.
gonna
I'm not
clip
gonna
it.
lie.
Hold on.
Because
When
Jay's
I
gonna
turned
tell me about it
when
for a
I
week.
turned around and said Zubimendi's back up to Miles Lewis Kelly, he laughed here. Did I
So
not
I'm
say
not
that in
gonna.
the
I'm
same
not
stream?
gonna clip this. I promise you, Jay.
I said
Now-
that in the same stream. Did you not
What?
laugh?
Dio. Wait. Arsenal topic. Vinicius Jr. What does Dio think? So Jay can tell him why he's wrong. Dio, your thoughts?
Like
on
I said,
Vinicius?
I don't really think anything about the. I don't think anything about the Vinicius
and beef is real,
Like,
man.
He's still excited. He's still excited.
Remember, like, you see how you started jumping in? You started jumping in when I do it to you.
No,
You
I
start
just want to make sure.
mute your microphone, my friend. Backward. Mute your
Just
microphone.
regulating your dopamine.
Mute
on,
your
Dio.
microphone. Backward. I still stand by what I said last week. If it happens, it happens because it's going to be it's a miracle if it happens. Because first and foremost, Vini wants to stay at Madrid, regardless of the contract issue or no contract issue. My thing is, like I said, if that deal happens, it happens. It changes Arsenal forever. It changes our left wing issues, solves all that problem for us. But I'm happy that we're shopping there, that we've actually put out and said, hey, we're willing to pay for you if you're happy to come. You know, that's what I want my club to do. I want to be able to go to teams, go to big teams, look for the best players. Real Madrid went to Bayern, tried to get Olise. Bayern said no. Real Madrid went back. Does it make Real Madrid a small club? No. So my thing is, I'm happy that we're shopping in places like Bruno Guimaraes, we're shopping in places like Vini Jr. That's a good place to be. If there's any deal to be done there and we get it done, kudos to the Arsenal team, kudos to Andrea Beta, and let's see what happens. But it's a good thing that people are worried. Is it possible he comes to Arsenal or not? If there was no possibility at all, these conversations would not even be happening. There will be none of this, Vini to Arsenal conversation. If there was no chance at all, it would have been done. We're talking about a contract standoff that has been going on for 12 months. This is not something that Vini sprung on Real Madrid last week. He didn't just come last week and say, this is what I want. They've known about this for 12 months. They haven't budgeted for 12 months. They've not agreed for 12 months. They've gone head-to-head for 12 months, you know. And now all of a sudden that Arsenal is getting into the picture saying, okay, you know what? If you're not going to get a deal done, maybe if you want to come this way, we're happy to pay you and give you everything you're asking for. All of a sudden, everybody's now, you know, so, you know, it's a good place to shop. Let's hope that Madrid fails to reach an agreement with him. And let's hope he's stubborn enough to break his love for Madrid, the city, and choose to go somewhere else. And at this point, if any other clubs want to jump in because he opens up and says, hey, I'm not going to do the deal, fair enough, jump in. We'll see which club then has the pull at that point. But right now, I think we're the only ones with a feather in the hat for Vini right now. So, yeah. So that's what it is for me. That's where I'm at with Vini. I just enjoy.
Who's your other options besides Vini if you don't get Vini?
My other
don't ask him about that. He's just excited shopping and just breathing the same air as Vinicius Jr.
I'm not
He doesn't need to sign him. He just needs
to. And this is why I called you salty. Let me tell you why I called you salty. Let me tell you why I called you salty. Jay, 1 second. Dio. Let me tell you why I called you salty. You just don't want him to be happy that he's linked to a good player. Whether he believes it's going to happen or not. Okay, one second. If we get an Ornstein bomba tomorrow, Mbappe explored by Liverpool, I'm going to get excited. This is not baseball, Habibi. This is football. It's a tribal sport. We are all emotionally invested in our clubs. I got excited when Fabrizio said we're going to get Barcola. It's normal this is why I called you salty. This is the exact reason. Because you don't even want him to be happy that they're looking at a good player to begin with.
Listen, Osam, this is why I had an issue with you clipping me and calling me salty. Having critical thinking is not the same as being salty. I've always had critical thinking. I had critical thinking when we were discussing this last week. I have critical thinking now. Dio being excited about having his name linked to Vini, cool. To me, I'm like, all right, who's your left winger? Because Vinny's a long shot. You didn't get Rodgers. So what's going on here? You can be excited about shopping. And I'm like, logistically, you're the title holders. You're defending your title. What you're doing with left wing. That's all I'm focused on. You can talk about the fact that you're linked to this player and that player. It doesn't make me so. I've said multiple times, if Arsenal sign Vini, great signing. I said Arsenal.
You can be a critical thinker and still salty.
No, I'm not. Why am I being salty? I'm just saying, what is there to
I just told you the reason, because you don't even want Dio to be happy.
I'm telling you, why are you excited? What has happened for you to be excited?
Because they're linked to a good player. It's normal.
They're linked to a different
when I'm linked to a good player, hold on. If I'm linked to a good player, do I just get excited that my transfer committee is doing their job? No.
Okay,
No,
Jay,
linked to a
can I tell you
difference maker.
something?
Hold on, they're doing their job. Do I high five the postman?
Let me ask you.
Whoa. Do I high five the postman for delivering a letter? No, he is doing his job. They are identifying players that should come to the football club or might come to the football club. Cool, they're doing their job. Okay, beyond that, what's going on? Beyond identifying somebody, beyond leaking a transfer committee meeting. Hold on, because essentially what this is a transfer committee meeting that Arsenal have had that's been leaked. That's where we're at the moment. It doesn't make me salty. It doesn't make me salty for calling that out. It doesn't make me salty. That's where we're at.
Okay, Jay. I'm gonna use an example that you lived with me on streams, and if you deny it, you're a liar, and I know you're not a liar.
Go on, sure.
He denies it already. Whatever it is, he denies it.
I'm gonna say something that probably all of you fell victim to, and you know exactly what happened at the start of last summer when it was Liverpool, City, and Bayern who wanted Florian Wirtz. 99% of the people said, why would he go to Liverpool? He's going to be the Kevin De Bruyne replacement at Man City. He's going to work under Pep Guardiola. Bayern Munich are going to win the league every year. They're going to compete for the Champions League. Everyone said that. Had I followed Jay's critical thinking advice and was miserable about the whole thing and said, yeah, this is not going to happen, it's impossible, blah, 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 I wouldn't have been happy when we signed the player because it would have been a shock factor, if anything. Everyone told us last summer, and correct me if I'm wrong, everyone on the panel is quiet, so I assume that they believe what I'm saying is true. The same exact thing happened during the Isak saga. Just pay the money Newcastle want. He's not going to leave Newcastle. Why should he leave Newcastle?
I think everybody knew he was going to leave Newcastle, but he was going to have to pay the money. He was going to come up off that bread.
Let's address the fact. We ended up paying less money than Newcastle wanted. We got the player that they wanted in Ekitike, and we got their own player in Isak.
Right. So basically,
imagine if I was miserable about it.
So my rebuttal before we open it up to the panel is, Wirtz was leaving. So we knew Wirtz was leaving. So it was about where was he going, not anything else. He was leaving. So you being one of the teams who are in for a player that's definitely leaving, to me, is a very different situation to what this is. Essentially, what we're saying here is,
okay, but Jay, you're doing the same thing you accused Dio of. You're responding to something I didn't say. No, you're responding to something I didn't say. When it was Bayern City. Okay, can I tell you the point and then respond to it? I'll mute you my mic. Bayern City and Liverpool. Okay, Wirtz was leaving, right? We agree Wirtz was leaving. It was Bayern, City, Liverpool, right? At the time, do you confirm that 99% of the people said he's going to choose Bayern or City?
I had no idea where he was going. I genuinely had no idea where he was going.
Don't be disingenuous.
Oh, what do you mean, Jay? I had no idea where the player was going.
Come on. At the time, people said either Bayern or City. Come on.
I had no idea where the player was going. Maybe Bayern, maybe Liverpool. At no point was it categorical that he was going anywhere. Like, it was leaning toward, and to be fair, I don't think the situation's the same because one, Vini isn't necessarily on the market. Two, we don't know if Vini would go to Arsenal, period. Three, we don't know if other clubs would come off mute for Vini. I think, yeah, there's an element of being happy with being interested in a player, but it's not me being salty by saying, okay, where's the meat? As the week progressed last week, I said, hey, this is a little bit more positive for Arsenal. This is better. This is good. A little bit of tangible stuff. But when we had this conversation,
you're telling Dio don't be happy. That's the.
I said no. What I said is we have a dopamine epidemic in the world. People get excited for no reason, and so me as Dio's friend, I'm just trying to help him regulate his dopamine, his excitement level, his critical thinking. So yeah, it is like that sometimes.
Panel, Tarik, Lewis, flawless.
It's super entertaining. That's why I say first and foremost.
Yeah, what a show.
Yeah, the difference is in regards to Vinicius Jr. He's not just a good player. He's not just why am I congratulating the mailman for delivering the post? He's a difference maker for them. A significant one at that on paper. That's why they're like, okay, we're in for him. Because obviously reports came out saying that Liverpool were, I don't know, they quote unquote offered him and Liverpool turned him down. I'm confused and baffled by this as last week as much as I am now. Like, I don't see what Dio said that's that crazy. He's not giving Vinicius Jr. a shirt number. He's not talking about how he's going to incorporate, how he's going to be in the team and the amount of goals he's going to score and Arsenal are going to win the quad. He's just saying, I like the fact that my team is looking at Vinicius Jr. and it's a statement of intent. That's what it is, because they could have easily said no. When you look at the fee, you look at the potential of wages, Arsenal could have went, nah, we'll stay clear of this. And if Arsenal would have said that, we would have laughed at them for that. If it would have come out that Arsenal was steering clear of Vini because of the transfer fee and because of the wages, etc., we'd be like, look, don't have the big club quote unquote mentality to go out and get a player who's a potential difference maker, because he could be the difference in them winning the league or not winning the league, winning their first Champions League and not winning the Champions League. That's where I'm at with it. Yeah, like Hassan hit the nail on the head. If any of our clubs are linked to players we believe are difference maker, of course we're gonna get excited about it and like, okay, let's see where this goes. Again, Dial's not said nothing. I'm waiting to hear Dial say something wild about the situation. He's not said anything crazy.
Who hoops in the comment section? He's nailed it. Being linked to the player is what I mean. It's just the transfer committee. And I'm not saying Dial did say anything crazy. I'm saying Dial, there's nothing to get excited about yet.
Yes, that's where we're different.
Well, that's where we.
Yeah, that's where the difference.
That's the salty part, buddy.
It's not salty.
It just depends on how you view it. Like, if we got linked with a player like Vini, I'd just say, nope, wage structure. It just depends on how you view it.
Like, he's not said nothing crazy about it. Like, and it's not just the link; it's more than a link.
Yeah, we're linked with him. Yeah,
it's more than a link because the club is willing to do the deal. The club has greenlit the deal. So it's more than a link.
You know the funny thing? What I even said last week,
and it's not a random Spanish journalist. It's Ornstein.
That's the part that I think would give it some weight.
Let me tell you what I even said last week. I said what is even making me happy is that my club is willing to pay. Like, Arsenal is showing like they are willing to pay is what's making me happy. Now, do we get the deal done or not? I don't know. Jay turned around and said, "You're happy you're linked to Vini." My point is,
by the way, big up to Paz for the raid.
We're looking at a big player, and my club is not backing down. They're saying we're willing to pay. Reports have come out now that they've reached personal terms with him. Whether or not those personal terms are with his agent or they've spoken to Vini, I don't know. But nobody's putting out those type of reports if something is not happening. That's progression in a week. You showed interest last week. A journalist talked about it. Now you're talking about the fact that there's a personal terms agreed. Let's see what happens. I've followed this club long enough to see that if this deal is going to happen, it might not happen until the last day of the window. Because Vini deal is not a deal that you get done overnight. Vini is a big player.
Is there a point where you say we have to go a different way? Because like you just said, it could go to the last day of the window. And if you don't get him on the last day of the window, then you've handcuffed yourself from getting whoever your second option is. I agree that Vini is the first option, and I would absolutely be going for him. And I would love for City to, and people like, oh, well, what about Doku or whoever else? I don't care. Bring that man into my team. I will figure the rest of it out later. So I'm not mad at that. But at some point, do you run the risk of missing out on whoever option number 2 is and going into the season with Martinelli on your left side?
I'll say this. I'm not the sporting director, so when it comes to the business side of things, I don't know who else they're talking to like right now simultaneously, which they're not putting out because this Vini story is really big, so it will overshadow whatever else story that you want to talk about in Arsenal right now. And that being said, if the Vini deal can get done, I think they'll push for it. If they get to a point, I'm sure they have a cutoff point where they say to themselves, all right, it's 2 weeks to the end of the window. I don't think this Vini thing is going to happen because we now hear that him and Madrid are now in talks and it's looking positive. Pull out and go get the next person that you wanted to go and get. But you've already showed me that
market's a bit peak after that, though.
I know, yeah. But again, my point is now you show me you have the money, then go get the next best thing you can get with this money. That's my thing. But you know what? Aim for the bloody moon. Aim for the Vini in the first place. If you miss, land among the stars. But just don't aim for random sky and then fall back to earth like we've always done.
So I asked that question because City was in the same boat.
You sign Solace. Don't aim for random guys, but you sign Solace. Okay.
He's a backup, though.
But okay.
No, we signed Solace.
Not being Vini don't join.
That's fair.
Yeah, but
that's not a random guy.
Leandro Trossard left. We signed Solace. So again, that's 1-on-1. And Norgard has left while trying to get Bruno Guimaraes.
He's the highest scoring under 21 winger in Europe. That's not a random guy, Jay.
Are we doing Club Bruges hype?
Random guy is signing. No. Let me tell you what random. No. That's not what I'm doing. Random guy is signing a winger from Yeovil Town.
That's a
random guy is signing a winger from Yeovil Town. That's a random guy.
So yeah, I see what Tarik, I see what you're saying as regards to like there definitely has to be a cutoff. This is not their first time doing this, and I've seen Arsenal pull something like.
And we've made that mistake, right? Because City was in, we thought we were in, we were hoping we were in for Bellingham, right? He was probably always gonna go to Real Madrid, but our name was linked, so we were in that conversation. Which meant that we didn't end up which meant that we didn't end up going for Rice. And maybe he would have always gone to you. I don't know. But that was the conversation. If we don't get Bellingham, go get Rice.
Yeah, but
we ended up hold on, but we ended up bringing in Mateus Nunes, who while he's done great for us at right back, is in no way anywhere near our midfield. So that's what I'm saying. You run that risk.
Yeah, I think again the circumstances are a little bit different because for you were in for Rice, Madrid were in for Rice, and I'm sorry for Bellingham, and Bellingham was coming from Dortmund. So there's 2-3 clubs involved chasing this one great player, and you never know where he's going or who to whom he's going to choose to go. In this case, it's a case of a player is at a club, contract issues for 12 months. We've got wind of it. We've put up the notice and say, hey, we're willing to give you what you want if you want to come here. And that's it. Like, if anybody else wants to jump into it right now, fair enough. Then the conversation changes. But right now, if Vini downs tools tomorrow and says, okay, I'm willing to leave. We've already said here, we're willing to pay whatever the cost is to Madrid. If Madrid turns around and says, give me 170, and Arsenal says yes, and we've already agreed personnel terms according to what's been reported, which means with his agent, some personnel terms have been agreed, some things have been agreed, maybe in principle. So all you need to do is sort out with Madrid and say, hey, here's the 170, here's 70 up front, you get 15 next year and 15 the year after. And we're good.
Okay, listen, we'll see what happens from now.
That's all I'm saying.
Let me just grab the super chats and I'm gonna move on, talk about Liverpool. Big up to all you guys locked in, big up to everyone watching us right now. Almost 700 people in the building. I want to move on, talk about Bradley Barcola, but let me get these supers first. Don't forget to check out our sponsor, Zoki Jersey. That's where I got this Boca shirt from. You get me? I have Riquelme on the back of it as well. Iconic shirt. MHF 15 only applies for the next 24 hours. So go over there and get yourself a shirt and go get your new club stuff and whatever it is. Jay, just hold on because there's a couple of people addressing you. So you just respond to them and then I'll do the Liverpool stuff. Let me just check because one was... Yeah, okay. So most of them are like basically about this topic and stuff you said. So just let me just get through them and then I'll do the Liverpool segment without you. Vini saga equal bad filler episodes on your favorite show. But it's not even the filler spot. We're arguing Jay's point about not being excited. Basically. Zubimendi was overplayed by year end. MLS stepped in. And then we have another comment here from Lagos Ventura says Zubimendi was burnt out. Literally never played at this level or that many games in his career. Rice is burnt out. Zubimendi played more minutes than any midfielder in the top 6. Any response to this, Jay?
You just wrote in the private chat.
My point is yeah, understood. I don't think he was as impressive in the first half of the season. I think he scored some good goals. And I personally wasn't wowed. I do hear the argument, but the thing is that the manager has the opportunity to say, hey, Luis Skelly, he didn't even play that many games in midfield last season. So the manager could easily move into the season and give Luis Skelly a bigger responsibility and load up in these games. Plus Marino's coming back, and he was injured for a lot of last season too. So,
okay. I'm loving tonight's playbook, Jay. Offense is the best. That's what the AC is saying. Yeah, Jay's definitely been on the offensive. Oh, you clipped me up last week and you called me salty and then proceeds to be salty.
No, you call me salty. Like my thing is, like, I'm not salty. I'd be if they signed.
Don't worry, no clips
if
this week.
Signed Vini, sure, I'll be salty if Arsenal sign Vini. But at the moment, what it is you're praising Berta for having loads of conversations on the phone. Okay, cool. The director of football does his job. Okay, that sounded saltier than I intended. Okay.
Yes, thank you for admitting it at least, for finally. Wait, wasn't he the upgrade to Partey, is what Judonome says?
Big up, Judonome.
Yeah,
probably.
You see, I don't do this upgrade to. You bring a player profile in that does the job that they need to do. In your system. This whole idea that you're going to upgrade Partey or you're going to be able to get him to play like Partey or do like what Partey did is nonsense. He's going to play the way he knows how to play in that system. And he did a good job.
So we have two responses. Zubimendi was in the midfield when we beat Spurs twice. Is
Sorry,
what Brian says.
sorry,
And then Don says, Vini or no Vini, Jay, get my 6 points ready.
Okay, so can I just make one point about Supermendy as well? Like, to me, he's also a reason why Arsenal had ball progression issues. Because I don't think he breaks lines. I don't think he progresses the ball. And that in turn will impact Arsenal's ability to create attacks and things like that. And I think it potentially was part of some of the open play issues that they had. Now, you might think that I'm just spiraling here, but I'm like, I think the data will support that Zubimendi, he can retain the ball, he's tidy. I'm not even sure how press resistant he is, like in terms of the physicality level when the Premier League was really on his toes, because he was getting the ball pinched a few times and there was a couple of mistakes he made leading to goals. I just think Arteta's looked at this player overall and he's just like, you know what, we can do better. You know what, we can do better. And he was a £60 million signing a year ago. It's not to say that he's been a flop. It's just to say he's been all right. He's been decent, but he ain't party.
Zubimendi was,
he's not right.
Zubimendi was £52.8 million, not 60 million. So don't just increase the numbers and make it sound like we overpaid some.
I thought it was 60 million, but okay, sorry, I'm happy to be wrong.
Okay, and your thoughts
like
on the Arsenal fans telling you get the 6 points ready, basically, and Zubimendi started against you twice.
Listen, I mean, like obviously, I'm not gonna be so presumptuous to say that Tonali, Fernandes, belt to ass midfield, but let's see how it goes. You know, like I've got faith in De Zerbi. Can't be any worse than the last few games.
Fairs. Okay, so big up to you, Jay. The rest are not addressing you, so thank you for hopping on. By the way, Jay, you haven't sent me the link to your channel. I need the link to your channel so I can put it in the.
I will
put it in the private chat. I'll put it in the description as well. So please just put it in the private chat. And then you can leave that.
Much love, guys.
Put it in the private chat. Big up to Jay. I can't find it this way, bro. I need a link.
I love it when people just make up stats.
Is it the one with 3K subscribers? But there is not even a video or anything. Welcome to Agenda versus Facts. 1 second. Let me go see if it's him. Profile isn't available. Anything on X? There's the last post is 2022. Okay, guys, we'll find out Jay's channel next week, inshallah. Big up to Brian, who says Zubimendi played when we beat West Ham and Newcastle twice. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's a bit of revisionism on the Zubimendi.
Yeah, and again, Zubimendi is one of the top 10 progressive passing midfielders from last season. He's actually number 10 on the list, and Declan Rice is also in there. So Arsenal has two, even though we're not top, but they are top. And you're looking at the numbers, the margins are very, very small within all these midfielders. So when you come here and you say things like Zubimendi does not even progress the ball, I can't have a footballing conversation with you when that's an untruth. Like
Greek freak gonna ball is what Don says. You're already calling him Greek freak. Respect Giannis Antetokounmpo, bro.
Yeah.
Big up to Lagos Ventura, who says Bruno may actually take more minutes from Rice than Zubimendi. Zubimendi got fatigued but was incredibly durable. He's not perfect, but he's a backup to Rodri in the Spanish system. That's still a very good player. Yeah, listen, everyone would have taken Fabregas 15 years ago. He was backup to Xavi, Iniesta, and Busquets. Yeah, you were never going to start ahead of them, buddy. We know this already, you know, so that doesn't mean he's a bad player. Same thing with Ruiz, Pedri.
Margins are very close, Lion King MCFC. The margins are very close of all the progressive passes.
To be fair, I don't think anyone on this panel has a midfielder that starts ahead of these three anyway. Pedri, Rodri, and Fabian Ruiz. Yeah, you ain't getting in. Don't even try it. I already know by him looking. I already know he's gonna try the dumb shit. Allow it. Just allow it. Allow it. Caicedo was kicking set pieces to goal kicks and shooting at kids in the crowd, bro. Just allow it.
He was making 4 chances in the same game, bruv.
Allow it. Allow it. He cannot play for Spain. He cannot.
Sorry, he had a grandpa up top.
Why is no one talking about Bruno not reporting to training like they all talk shit on Isak last year? This is true, to be fair. Like, it's just
No, I hear
You
you.
know,
I hear he's gone to.
last season's experience with Newcastle, bro, I think the dumb shit that I heard all season last season just irritated the shit out of me. And I'm so glad that we're finally done with that.
Bruno has gone.
dumbass club.
Bruno has gone back to training, according to reports this
Yeah.
morning. They did say he's gone back, so that's why people are not talking about it. Adrian, I know and he also made it clear. He's come out and said it from his agents, his representatives, that he's not going to make this a big deal. He's going to respect the club, and he's not going to force an exit. It was a different thing that Isak said. Isak categorically rebelled and said, "Forget you guys. I'm moving." Fair enough. Players can choose to go how they want to go. So if people complain about it, it's not because
Don't use buzzwords. Bruno Guimaraes is rebelling as well.
I know
Rightfully
he is,
so.
but I know. Listen, I agree, but I'm saying the
Just
way
like Isak should have rebelled last season correctly.
I'm
as
saying,
well.
but the way I agree, I just said it. I said Isak had a right to rebel the way he chose to. Bruno is rebelling the way he has chosen to. Right? Bruno's reported to training this morning. He's going to train with the team. When the deal gets done, he'll fly back for his medical. He waited thinking his medical will be done earlier, but he's waiting for the second bid. He has gone to training. Fair enough. So my thing is there's a big difference in their approach, but they both are rebelling. Fair enough. That's
Love the meltdown from Liverpool fans online about some players filming TikTok. Used to clown us for Lingard and Pogba, but can't take the heat now. Who's filming TikToks? I don't even know about this to begin with. Who the hell's filming TikToks? Let me know, Ace Holding. Let me know. I don't even remember that. I didn't even hear of anyone saying it. Flawless and Lewis, you bum. Same with Hussam. Anyone want Ferran Torres? I'm done with him. I saw his interview. He was at the NBC show today in New York City. Said that my club is ungrateful. If I would have known, I would have told him to get the F out. First of all, Ferran Torres, I think, is like, okay, Lewis, you're on mute. Like Chelsea's attack all season.
Oh, fucking fraudulent. No, not against these frauds, though. Hold that. Fucking, your goalkeeper picked the ball out of his net 7 times. You ain't getting your get back next season, so hold that twice.
Ferran Torres is the Leo Messi of Joao Felix's. That's who Ferran Torres is.
No.
Ferran Torres is either really good or really crap. There is no in the middle. When he looks bad, he looks real bad. And when he looks good, he looks real good. There is no in the middle with Ferran Torres. So he's a little bit inconsistent, but technically he's a good player and he's good in spaces. Like I said, I think he's the Messi of Joao Felix's. That's how I would describe it.
Messi of Joao.
He's like the bag, he's like Joao Felix Pro Max, like if it bangs, it's really banging, and if it goes bad, it really goes bad, So
Messi of Joao Felix is brilliant. Big up OG Queens every time.
Big up. Oh, this is the Barca loser. Hold that for me, buddy.
This is OG Queens.
I'm the one club on this panel you can't chat shit to, buddy. Hold that.
Yeah,
on your head.
What are we talking about? We've won more Champions Leagues at their ground than they have. What are we talking about?
Hold that. Sam, my problem with the LFC board is not that they make mistakes, it's that they keep making the same ones. Not getting guys 2 years before we need them. I agree with this. I'm going to come to Liverpool next, this Barcola situation. The problem is not Barcola being a saga. The problem is not getting a centre back and a right back. That's the bigger problem, So we know Barcola is going to be a saga. He's a PSG player. He's obviously not just going to jump from PSG directly. Arsenal getting Bruno. Trust the process. We'll get Vini, is what Emmanuel is saying. I think Bruno will join you. I think Newcastle are sinking ship right now. That's why Joe Linton is getting off it as well. The biggest passion merchant. Oh, I'm Joe Linton. Even he is getting off it.
If they don't keep Bruno, they've got zero ambition. Bruno's not even pushing the move like that.
They can't keep him, though. They can't.
Why not?
Look at how crap Newcastle is. I'm not going to make this about Liverpool, but honestly, you guys, I'm not even conspiracizing. I go back to May last summer. Had Newcastle just said yes to selling Isak at the start of the window and bought Ekitike then and there, I sent Mo the Fabrizio tweet. Had they just bought Ekitike then and there, like it was supposed to be at the start of the window, bro, their whole future would have been different. But they've just completely sold, and they've just been dumb ever since. Kai Senat and Ekitike. Well, to be fair, Ekitike is injured anyway, so it's not like, it's not like this whole situation. Anyway, let's talk about Liverpool Football Club, guys. Let's talk about my club. Big up to all of you guys locked in. Please hit the like button. Please subscribe. Obviously, the latest is more Barcola news. Nothing crazy, really. Just the first bid was 100 million and got rejected. And PSG
pounds or euros?
60. Say it again, sorry.
Was it 100 million pounds or euros the bid?
Euros.
Okay.
First bid.
Okay.
Yeah, first bid was 100 million euros, and PSG are saying they want
Even
160
under
million
100
euros.
million
basically.
pounds. Fuck.
But it's down from the first number, which is 175, which is what no one was going to pay anyway. The chat already know my thoughts, so let me get one of you guys' thoughts first on the Liverpool situation. Flawless, since you work with Sai and you're screaming at him, I think 2 days ago. Tell me your thoughts on the Liverpool situation first.
What, in regards to the Barcola deal, you mean?
Yeah. And
Yeah,
Liverpool
like-
generally, really.
Yeah, outside of like Liverpool, genuinely Barcola, I don't get it. I don't understand it. I keep saying this. I don't see the hype surrounding this player. Yes, he can spin in behind, and yes, he'll get goals, and he's not your traditional modern day winger. But the money they're talking, difference maker. You see how Arsenal are with Vinicius Jr. I understand the fees that are being linked to that, because Vini Jr. could be, let me say that, the difference in them winning the Premier League or not winning the Premier League. Same with the Champions League as well. I don't see that for Barcola. I really don't see him as a difference maker. Will he come here and score goals? Yes. Will he be an asset? I said, I don't think he's a bad player. I don't think he's anything special. So from a Manchester United perspective, one, I hope you sign him. And two, I hope you sign him for all of this money, because that means a chunk of your budget has gone there. Because is he going to start? Would he start on the left, or would he play right wing? Or would you play Rio on the right? Or the other winger you signed?
My club is more unclear than mud right now. But I'm assuming, because Iraola said it publicly, that it's going to be a fluid situation. I don't think we're going to have like a crystal clear right wing starter. It's going to be like
rotate in the front three type
the
of
rotation thing. The only one that's in the same position is Isak. I think Wirtz, Barcola, and whoever are going to rotate basically and play around.
Yeah, like again.
Because Ekitike is out, right? He's injured.
Yeah, Ekitike is out for a long period of time. Again, it's the money. And it's not like you don't have yes, Rio's young, but like give him minutes. Maybe get someone else in who's a mid-senior. But I rate Rio when I've watched him play, which is only a few times. I think he's a good player. Like, again, if Barcola is is that really the best you could come up with? To me, I think that's batshit crazy, yo. Barcola for that money, they might as well add some more on top and go try to get Kvaratskhelia. Or go to Bayern and try to get Elise once you start talking them fees. Add 50, 60, 70 million and go and try and get one of them, as unrealistic as it is. And Hassam's been mentioning about Liverpool overall. Sam and many others in the chat have been talking about how much they need. So it's great to see from a United fan perspective. I do think Iraola's a good coach, though. I think he is a good manager, but you see the issues they have at centre-back. Who is their first choice right-back? Midfield, you heard Hassam, he was the only one who was like, yeah, Zubimendi starts for us, and I think Zubimendi a decent player, but if you're saying Zubimendi starts for you in midfield, that goes to show your midfield issues. And what we was just talking about, the wingers, like who is their starting right winger? So they have problems all over. Some of them can be solved internally, again, with the manager they have in a good system, and I think they will make other additions.
Flawless, who do you think is better, Barcola or Madueke?
Barcola's better than Madueke.
Ah.
He's better than Madueke. Yes. But I think Madueke a better right winger though than him, because they might play him on the right. Like it's just again,
that's what I'm saying on the right. Like I think Madueke,
on the right, Madueke. Like
there are two possibilities. Basically, one is we sell Gakpo to Spurs, and then make Barcola the left winger, and then go sign Ryan, or God forbid, Mente. God forbid, that would be the worst signing since Darwin Núñez. I've already suffered. You know, there's some. Let me tell you.
Don't nobody want him, man.
Lewis, Neto is Messi compared to Mente. Literally Messi.
All right, please take him then. Be my guest.
Bro, Mente got outscored by Jean-Paul Van Heck. What are we doing here? Like that guy has so much space and at Brighton, and he's running into the defender's legs. This guy, this fraud on the top right, saw his team lose to Brighton 3-0, and Mente was still the worst player on the pitch. Imagine your team.
There was a lot of competition for that spot.
Even he was worse than anyone. He was literally that guy was so bad. But anyway,
I don't know. I saw Neto have open space and he ran away from it.
What I think the club will do, because the super chatter asked about repetitive mistakes, I think we're gonna do exactly what we've done before, which is we're going to sell Gakpo and then say Barcola is the Gakpo replacement and just rotate in the other positions, basically. That's what I think.
Oh, is he actually going Spurs?
To be fair, it's been like reported by everyone at this point. The Spurs ITKs, the Liverpool journalists. Like,
Fairs.
I think Liverpool's intention is not to sell. But let's be objective about this. If Spurs call you and offer you 85 million, you'll be dumb to not sell. Like,
Oh yeah, of course. I can't believe that you're getting that money for him. If
Yeah.
you don't get that money, I don't know which deal's worse. Barcola for that big money or Gakpo. I don't get it. All the left wingers out there, and this is the best you can come up with is Cody
Bro, look at
Gakpo.
what's
and
I'm gonna
Barcola.
fight you on Barcola again. You can't pretend Barcola is this bad player, Flores.
I know.
You
I
can't.
don't think he's a bad player. I said this
He's
as you
not
was
worth the
gone.
money.
I said he wasn't a bad player. I just don't think he's anything special.
Tarik, you paid 116 million
No.
for a
I'm saying that
like,
he's saying that
for
he's not
Gallagher
worth the money.
Pro Max.
He's not worth it. Like he's.
No, I'm just saying that's his argument, not
he's
saying that
looking
I
special.
agreed per se.
Bro, Gordon
start
went for 80 million. The
Yeah,
market's
not
just
worth
capped.
the
You just
money.
gotta pay whatever the price
Okay,
is.
flawless.
Well.
Let's take a step back.
Go.
Who's better, Barcola or Madueke?
Let's understand the argument.
Barcola.
We all agree
Come
that
on.
Bradley Barcola is not worth that much money.
Yes.
I have to look at the market, Habibi, and what the
Yes,
market
yes.
dictates. What are
Yeah.
PSG saying? Forget any of our opinions. PSG are saying they are using the transfers of Elliot Anderson and Morgan Rogers as benchmarks to base
Facts.
their Bradley Barcola money on.
Yeah.
So when Liverpool call, what did we first offer? 100 million euros, which is 85 million pounds, which if we got them for that money, no one will say it's an overpay. Fair price. 85 million, 80 million, whatever it is, right? Now, what PSG are saying, Chelsea paid 118 for Rodgers and City paid 116 for Elliot Anderson. We'll
Yes.
be dumb as PSG to sell you Barcola for like
Agreed.
for
They doing the
nothing.
right thing.
So now
Yes.
the market is dictating what I do. I can't call
Yes.
PSG and offer them 100 million for Barcola and expect them to accept less money than Anderson and
Agreed.
Rodgers because they simply won't do it.
Fully agree with
But
what
that's
you're
why
saying.
you're gonna have to adapt to the market.
Why is he the
Yeah,
option?
that's the problem.
That's my point. Why he's the only left wing. We've had this comment. He's the only left winger that is Liverpool can go and get that can do a good job.
Other left wingers
Liverpool.
are just as expensive. Yildiz,
No, that's
100
the-
million, Juve. Right
The
there.
ones we know. I'm talking about. This is where your recruitment team and scouts come into it. I just don't. It makes no sense to me to pay that money for a player that's not a difference maker.
And we
Barcola.
can't rest our Champions League hopes on some 20-year-old who no one's heard
Why
of.
you have to be 20? Why can't I be 24?
Even then, I
Why can't I
can't.
be 24? Why does he have to carry you? You've got Isak, you've got.
I
Wirtz,
didn't
you've
say
got
carry you. I said
you-
I can't rely on a wing player like that.
Okay, why
to
is he
get-
high
to
up the
get
list?
us
You
there.
have you have Isak, you have Wirtz, you have Gravenberch, you have Szoboszlai, you have Van Dijk, you have Kerkez. Like you have multiple senior players above this player.
The
as
reason
well.
why we need Barcola is your team and Lewis's team and Dio's team and Tarik's team.
What we're
and
saying,
Spurs.
Barcola is the difference in you lot finishing top 5 and not finishing top
He
5.
literally could be the difference between Liverpool getting top 5. Yes. Remember something, Flawless? We actually scraped top 5 on the last day of the season.
Yeah,
bro.
you did,
Last
and
we
that's
scraped
the
it.
crazy part.
Now
is
remove
that
Konate, remove
I
Salah.
agree with
remove
that.
Robert.
We are saying 100+ million for a player to be the difference maker, not in a
In
title
today's
race.
market, he's
No,
worth that.
In today's market,
Yeah.
he's not worth it. But here's the thing about it, Flawless. Today's market is inflated. This is where the
Agreed. Agreed.
So
Yes,
I
it is.
think at the end of the day, we all agree on this panel that certain players are not worth the money that they're going for this season. That's not the
Agreed.
value they should be going for. But sadly, that's what the market is. And if you're going to get any player, you're going to have to pay that type of money. Tonali for
Certain players, yes.
I give Tonali for 100 million, not worth it. Tonali is not a 100 million player to me. He's a very good player. I would take him on my club, but he's not a 100 million player. Elliot Anderson is not a 160 million pound player to me. He's a wonderful, good player, but the market is just so inflated that every other club is doing the same thing. Jan Dumandi, 19. What has he done at RP Leipzig that they're asking for over 100 million? So at the end of the day, this is where the market is at. Sadly, Barcola seems to be one of the better left wingers in a dead left wing market, right? We're in a market where the left wing is really bad this season, but he seems to be one of the better ones. Hence why his club is asking for that kind of money. Do Liverpool think he's worth it? No. But do they need him? Yes. That's the thing.
Well, see, like I said, it's still ludicrous to me for him because we're talking from a talent perspective. Like I said, I don't think he's a bad player.
I get what you mean from a talent perspective. You're right.
Yeah.
I'm agreeing with you. Like on the talent, like I said, remember the statement was in a bad left wing market, he is the better one out of all. So he's the best of the worst. Let's just play the air. Like that's how
I hope
look.
Liverpool do it.
That's
I
how
hope they do, man. I hope Liverpool do it. Watch him get outperformed by Rio.
I don't think Rio will outperform him.
All right, give him the minutes.
Hey, fellas, I got to drop.
Even if
Appreciate
we do
it,
give him
man.
the minutes, he's not going to outperform Bouaddi Barcola. He won't. He just won't.
All right,
He just won't.
give him the minutes.
You're asking too much of a youngster there. You really
No,
are.
I just don't think Barcola's all that. I'm saying than that. If you give me a choice
Barcola's
between the
all
two,
that compared to the available players, literally.
no, but I'm talking about your team. If you give me a choice between the two, I know who I'm taking. I'm not taking Barcola over Rio. Run me the potential.
That's crazy, bro.
Run me the potential for 100. Rio for 40 million or Barcola for 100+ million. I'm rolling with Rio.
That makes sense because again, Rio has actually some level of experience.
There we go. That shows you the levels we're at. Because if I said that about Vinicius Jr., people would be like, "You're crazy." It makes sense when I put it in those terms, though. When I say Rio at 40 million or Barcola at 130, Rio all of a sudden looks appealing transfer. I'm going Rio at 40 over Barcola at 130, 140.
Even Rio, there was rumors that somebody wanted to come in for Rio, and I think,
Munich.
Yeah, and the story was that Rio was going to be going for like 70 or something like that. That was what I read somewhere on X. Again, even
No,
Rio,
I think Liverpool put him on not for sale.
Well,
yeah, they did say not for sale, but someone was they rumored that if they were going to if there was actually ever going to be a price, it's from 70 and above. And I was like, oh, that's madness. Like again, oh yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, the market is just inflated, and it is what it is. Clubs are going to have to pay more money because clubs are making more money than ever before. So everybody's going to try to milk what they can get from each other. So at the end of the day, I'm just waiting for that one transfer that opens the door and triggers everything.
Yeah, domino effect.
Yeah, it's about to happen.
157 billion naira for Bouaddi Barcola. You're a United fan. You paid that for Anthony, bro. Sit your
Exactly. Bad deal knows bad deal.
Go back to that naira. This man, US guy, using naira. 100. How much is euros now? 200 and something euros.
How much actually is $1 in naira?
It's about 1,375. It's like 1,003. Like
$1 is 1,363 Nigerian. Wait, what kind of conversion are you on, bro? That can't be right. Let me check.
If you're asking for 100 million euros, then in euros, you check dollars. You check pounds. Euros is like
to Nigerian naira. Let's check. 209. That's actually. Wait, it's actually even more than the number you put. It's even worse.
Because he put euros.
It's 219 billion naira, bro.
Yeah, he put euros.
That's crazy. That's crazy. I think the biggest worry for me is Liverpool not signing a right back or the centre back. That's even worse than the forward line because Iraola himself come out in the press conference and said our defensive depth is weak, and it's so obvious it's weak. Yet we're sat here watching like, hey, guys, we're gonna rely on these random kids. And in Dukoy's performance in the preseason game, this is the thing when you rely on an 18-year-old kid. You can ask Lewis, he'll tell you. 45 minutes, he looks good. And then the other 15 minutes, he makes 2 mistakes. And then we concede a goal. And then we concede a goal. And then we concede a goal. And we concede a goal from a throw-in. And then Kirkis makes a dumbass mistake. For me, it's the centre-back and the right-back that we need right now. Centre-back and right-back is desperation. The wing area as well is desperation. The market as well stinks a little bit. Centre back, I don't know why we didn't sign Lecroix. I don't know why we didn't sign him. There's for 50 million, that's a steal right there. You look at like the midfield area as well. It's a problem for us in terms of if we do sell Curtis Jones, if we do sell McAllister. I think Liverpool have a lot of work cut out for us right now. But yeah. Why would you use pounds for a Euro club? Because the buyer club is English. I've noticed this with you guys. You guys always do this. When we're reporting on our clubs, we always use pound. It's completely normal. But when we do it for a rival, we change it to euro. Last summer, people did it to us all summer. Versus 200 and blah, blah, blah $million. Bro, why you guys do this? Why do you change the currency? Like when it's used
that's
to,
why. People want to make the price. People want to bump it up. They'll use
You make the price bigger. You guys are doing the Hamza thing. Kirkes was 75 million euros. Yeah, but he was 50 million pounds as well. Like, why do you guys always do this for no reason? There's no reason to do this. We are getting Barcola for that price because of our bad scouting. Don't tell me if you plan well, you can't find the right wing in the market. This ain't a surprise. Sai, I can tell you are a member of the Sarcasm City TV community because this is exactly what Flawless said. And you just copy-pasted him after he bullied you. Don't get bullied by Flawless. He's a big bully. Do not get bullied by Flawless. You're a big bully. Stop it.
All right, we're going to get into this now. We're going to get into that.
I saw you bullying the other kid as well. What's the name of the other guy? Vikram?
We'll get to that. Two things. One, you're not going to do what Jay was doing to Dio and try and rage bait me and all these things. One, I'm not a bully. One, I'm not a bully, which we're gonna get to. And two, if I was gonna be a bully, the last two people I would ever bully is one side and the other's Vikram you're talking about. Because these men have opinions for days and will debate for days. That's like a bully picks on a weak opponent. Sai is one of the most difficult people to debate with because he knows ball. And he's a Liverpool fan, so that just annoys me even more. I don't know what it is about you lot. When I'm debating with a Liverpool fan, shit is just different. Debating
Sai being mad at FIFA is the funniest thing ever. You have to.
It irks me. So yes, one. And how am I a bully? I don't get this. I am never a bully. Don't do that.
You don't bully people in that way. You know, you bully.
I don't bully people in any way. We have debates.
You argue with
you Dio debate, me and Lewis debate, and whoever else is on the panel. Just because it seems like I'm winning now, it's but no, we're having a debate about.
I've never seen you gegen press Lewis though ever since I met you.
Because he's extremely press resistant. That's why. He's young. I've tried.
It depends who's pressing him. I've seen Lewis lose his shit a couple of times.
I've tried. Trust me.
Lewis loses shit a couple of times, and I know that for a fact.
Yeah,
Mons has done that. Proops has done that.
Yeah, because it was you with the Poch bullshit. That's why.
Don't get misunderstood.
Fair, that season the most rattled season I've ever had.
Yeah, Lewis is a smart individual.
I've seen Troops do it to him as well. A couple of the callers done it to him as well. You know, when he does the open watch logs and stuff. So
sometimes. So Chelsea.
Sai's been crashing. He was crashing out about your squad last summer.
Check the private messages.
Okay, make a comment, please. Just write a regular comment so I can find you. The tactic is used most against. Don't you have a regular Dio account that's mod?
No, I don't. I use my this thing. Yeah.
Just comment whatever, and I'll do it now. Okay, the tactic is used most against Man United, right? Flawless. Which tactic?
Which tactic? You're gonna have to ace. Let us know.
Changing the currency. To be fair,
it happens all the time with us. Yeah. People all the time have. It's X amount of euros, and then I have to go and Google and check and be like, I hear it so much that I have an idea what it translates to in pounds. I'm like, chat to me in pounds, not euros. But people do it all the time.
I do pounds for everyone. I just don't change the currency.
I always say pounds.
There is no need for all this dumb shit. Anyway, guys, look, we're gonna wrap it up here. Big up to all of you guys. Make sure you guys are liking the video. Make sure you guys are subscribing. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram. The link is in the pinned comment. Our sponsor, OK Jersey, guys. MHF 15% off. I'll try to speak to Edward, get it for one more day. All the new season kits are there. Everything that you want is there. Go over there and get yourself a shirt ASAP and get 15% off. There might be giveaways as well on the channel, but you have to be an Instagram follower. So go follow me on Instagram. The link is in the pinned comment. I'm going to take you guys over to Sarcasm City TV. You know, he's live at once, immediately, as soon as we end the stream. And he's got he's going to talk about Man United, Lewis Hall, you know, PSG situation with Barcola. So it's going to be a whole Q&A. So you can go ask him whatever you want as well. Love you all, and see you guys over on Sarcasm City TV. Peace out, people.
Big up.